our next election in November. So, why not bring the wonderful immigration law back into play back in January when it all resumes after the holidays? And I agree with him. Why not? At least it'll keep the hee-hawing and everything else down to a minimum. And the pushback from the left that's been happening. Why don't we wait until a lot of these left-leaning people are being pushed out? It's that simple. But he has a great point. No more of this. Why are we even sitting here? These people have been going on for years with immigration. As long as I've been alive, I've been hearing about immigration, hearing about the issues of immigration. But there lies the problem. We're having issues with immigration, but yet nobody has had the balls to fix it. Nobody has done anything to fix it. When is somebody going to get big enough balls to take care of the problem? Well, I see a man with some huge ass nuts hanging below his knees right now. And his name is President Donald J. Trump. With some big ass balls hanging below his knees. Because he's showing everybody that he's not afraid to take on the age-old issue of immigration. The issue of California being taken over by illegal immigrants. The issue of Texas, southern part of Texas, being taken over by illegals. The issue of Arizona being taken over by illegal immigrants, at least the southern part of Arizona. It's that simple, people. But nobody opens up their eyes because they are not in those particular parts of the country. Until you've actually lived in those parts of the country, you'll never understand the full extent of illegal immigrants. Yes, you may see them in your daily life, or you may see them in the places that you live, and you may see a little small part of the burden that they bring. But never will you understand the extent of what they are until you've actually been to one of these border line states and driven around and lived in one of these borderline states for any amount of time. Will you start understanding what kind of strain they actually bring to the United States? It's simple enough that if you take the time to do some research, you'll find out what kind of strain they do. I'm not going into that today because I can continue on forever about illegal immigration. Everybody that knows me knows how much of a hard stance I have on illegal immigration. It has nothing to do with immigration. They're two damn different things. Immigrants come here every time. They pay the system. They pay into the system. They stay here for an extended time. Then they go back to their country for an extended time. Then they come back to the United States for an extended time. Then they go back to their country for an extended time. Then they come back to the United States for an extended time. May we go on with how long it takes to become a U.S. citizen and the amount of money that it takes to become a United States citizen. And there's tons of people that have actually spent the money and done it the hard way. And these same people are the ones upset with illegal immigration also. Because why are these people able to come here and illegally infiltrate our country? That's all they're doing. They're a burden to our country. They're not coming here for our way of life. They wave their flags in our country. They have no respect for our country, yet they rely wholly on our country, on our medical systems, on our wonderful welfare systems, on our wonderful school systems. Do we not realize that the problems that they're causing with these things? Most Southern California schools have turned to year-round schools to adapt to the Hispanic population, the overpopulation of Hispanics down there. They had to adapt to year-round schools because of the overpopulation of the illegal immigrants. No other reason did they have to switch to a year-round school. So, no kid out there gets a summer break. It's not until high school that they really get a summer break, and the reason behind that is by the time most illegals get around that age, they go to work. They don't go to high school. They don't go to college. They go to work in construction jobs and those things. Why? Because they become a part of the family. By the time they hit around 12, 13 years old, they're old enough to work. And their families start pushing them to work. And because they work under the table or they work under the false pretenses of using somebody else's social security number, then they play these games all the time. And this is how they're able to work. But most of the time, people will pay them cash just because. It's cheaper to pay these people cash than it is to pay for the wonderful issues of workman's comp, all these other things that they'd have to pay to bring people in to fix houses, mow lawns, all this other wonderful stuff. It's easier to do it that way. So why not? Well, let's just go ahead and take care of it with that. And it sucks. Because when it happens, other people hurt from it. It hurts our country. They take away jobs that people want. They're not out here picking tomatoes. They're not out here doing agricultural work. Some of them are. But they're taking jobs away from Americans that Americans really do want. Taking jobs away from construction workers that construction workers really do want, but no longer can be competitive because of their drag down on the prices. Because they'll do it for so much less. I'm sorry. Wake up. These are the things that hurt America. I don't know what else I can tell you that would ever help you understand the extent that illegal immigration takes on here. And the fact that the left is crying and complaining about children in cages. The left is whining because, oh no, there's children in cages down at the border. They should be let go. They shouldn't be there with their parents. Why? Because you want future voters. That's all it boils down to left. We all know that. That you hope they stay in the system. You hope they work and fill in those cracks within the system. That's all you care about. And the people like us real Americans, it pisses us off because we see what's happening. We see what the drain is on the American economy. You ask any of those Hispanics down there in Southern California, the illegals, why they're there, and almost 90% of them will say, well, this was our land before, we're taking it back. And they're doing a pretty damn good job of taking Southern California back. They've also infiltrated the northern part of California. They have sanctuary cities all up and down California. Well, you were smart, California. You allowed it to happen. And they're doing a pretty damn good job of taking their state back that we fought for. Or do you forget the Mexican American War where we took California? And the Mexicans really want California back. I don't know what good it's going to do them if they get it back. Do they still think it'd be part of the United States? It won't be. I really hope California does succeed from the United States. I hope it becomes its own entity. They believe they can survive. They believe they can do what it's doing. You know what? More power to them. Go ahead and secede from the United States. All your federal funding, you know what? We can spread it throughout the United States. You're not going to hurt us there. All your military equipment, all that other stuff, it goes back to the United States because it does not belong to you. It is federal property. All of your wonderful military bases, they get taken away from you. Nobody will be there. You no longer have a military force in California. You will have to figure out through California how you're going to form a military. Because we as Americans will not sit there and come to your aid because you want to secede from California. You act like you are so elite and so great that we cannot survive without California within the United States. Wake up, dipshits. You don't mean nothing to us. Your movie tickets are so far down because nobody goes out to see your sorry ass movies no more. Why? Because nobody cares. You're washed up trying to get in political issues. You slam a president and say he's not your president, you're moving out of America. Get your bags fucking packed and go. You know there's a better place out there? Go. Feel free. I do not care. You are not going to hurt my feelings one bit when you take your liberal ass and move out of America. And if you want California to be separate from the United States, and that way you can be out of the United States, kick rocks. Bye. See you later. You're still not going to hurt my feelings. Because you're still just the worthless pieces that you are. And when you have to get a California passport just to come into the United States, I'm sorry. Welcome to America. And when you become hostile to us, well, guess what? When we take California back over, I'm sorry. when half of you end up dead.